You are live.
All right, all right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for the introduction. Thank you very much for having me here this evening and sharing with me this opportunity to come here, talk to you a few words on the topic of the power of creativity. First, before starting off, I'd like to mention about the International Internship University, which is a leading virtual education system and global brand confederation, which is the most valuable and trusted, which is valued and trusted worldwide. It's well reputed in delivering innovative programs globally. It is a trusted name for quality training programs and is committed to providing a better virtual education to all the young learners of the globe. In a short span of time, IIU has spread its wings in 195 countries and 6 continents. Under the strong leadership of its visionary founder, Mr. Piyush Pandit Sir, a committed and inspiring social activist, a passionate educationist for the last 2 decades, providing education to students from various social and cultural backgrounds. The introduction, this is a short introduction about IIU, and probably you will be able to find more information through the page where this is being telecasted. Right. So a little bit about me. My name is Arkam Azhar. I come from a background in marketing, and I have been working in the industry of creative leadership over a period of time now. And I also work as a trainer and educationist. So in my sphere, one of the areas that I mainly cover is called the power of creativity, right? And generally I try to make the sessions a little bit engaging and interactive, right? And in order to do that, I would really need your help in the comment section. I want people to share what you think about these ideas and drop in your comments in the comment section, right? So that we can make it more interactive and interesting, and the outcome of learning would be more effective. Great. So that being said, I would like to now turn on the presentation for you, which is scheduled for today's session, and we'll go further with it. Right. Okay, that's done. Good. So let's see. I hope the presentation mode is visible to you. So I'm just waiting to see that that works well and accordingly here,
Visible.
right?
Visible.
Great. Is it on presentation mode? All right, great. So now it is on presentation mode, right? So
Perfect.
on the power, it's on the, yeah, great. So starting off, I just want to share with you what we plan to do today to understand the concept of creativity, you know, a bit about why it's important and how it helps us to experience the creative expression, right? To experience creative expression, because that's one of the areas where a lot of us have problems as to how we try to find that and bring that creativity out and express it. So we'll be sharing small, simple techniques to let your mind to go to that place and experience what that is like, and using simple techniques, not very complex, very simple techniques that we can use in everyday life too, right? And then thirdly, by doing that, what happens is that you learn how to express, to access and express your creativity in the future too, when you will need to do that, right? Creativity is something that is within each one of us, because some of us sometimes we feel that we are not creative, but that's not true. All of us have creativity within us. It's an inborn thing for all human beings. It's just that depending on the experiences we have had, the exposure we have, the level of that creativity, and based on how often we access that creativity, how often we push that creative boundaries in our mind, the capacities may change, right? The reason for us to fail to believe that we are truly creative is generally because we hardly are given any opportunity or encouraged to express our creativity at work, generally at work or in education at school, right? But the truth about creativity is that it is the single force of human capacity that has really pushed man forward, hasn't it, right? From the time of being caveman into today becoming the human beings that construct 100-story, multifaceted architecture, right? Create amazing music, express in the arts and in the sciences and whatnot. So creativity has been that force that has pushed mankind forward and helped us a great deal in evolution. And as a result, it is one of the skills or the capacities within each person in to be able to drive forward a better life for ourselves as well. Just like the world has moved forward, if creativity is something that we consciously access and push for, it will help us push our worlds further too. So initially I wanted you all to give your thoughts. What do you think creativity is? So this is out to audience, whoever is engaging with us right now. What do you think creativity is all about? What is creativity to you, right? So I would like to hear any thoughts that you all have on it, and move forward from that. Okay, so we have some people commenting here what they think about creativity. And great. So I'm trying to view what some of you all are saying here as we speak. Great. Okay, no problem. So what I will do is I will go ahead with the general definition which the dictionary provides, and which some interesting people who have spoken about creativity have written about the topic, right? And meanwhile, if you have any thoughts about what you think creativity means, feel free to drop that into the comments section, right? So this is based on the Cambridge dictionary, and what we say is the noun creativity basically means it's an ability to produce original, unusual ideas or to make something new or imaginative, right? It is to make something new or imaginative. Then furthermore, what has been shared about this idea that creativity is the production of something original and useful. There is never one right answer to be creative, right? To be creative, it requires divergent thinking, generating many unique ideas, and then convergent thinking, combining those ideas to find the best result, right? So you initially go into divergent thinking, you dive in, so you broaden, you get as many ideas as you possibly can, and then you start converging, narrowing down those options into finding the most ideal solution. So that's by Bronson Merriman, who wrote a great book called The Creative Crisis. If you if you would like to, that's a great book to read. So some other people who've spoken about creativity. Albert Einstein said creativity is intelligence having fun, right? Because it is really a capacity of intelligence to be able to rethink, to be able to relook at things, to be able to see something that is standard and make something extraordinary out of that, right? I mean, in our lifetimes itself, we probably understand how this simple device that's an everyday tool of our hands, the mobile phone, right? How it has changed. I mean, the telephone, right? We used to have one that was only at home, that you used to press numbers and dial, that had very limited operations, which has now evolved into a tiny PC that a computer that you carry on in your hands. So creativity is really the capacity of intelligence, for the capacity of intelligence to have fun. And Earl Nightingale said, instead of competing, all we have to do is create. So this is another perspective of creativity, that the world doesn't really have to compete with each other all the time, but we can create and collaborate and come up with beautiful things. And that was Earl Nightingale's expression of what creativity and what it was to create. Right now, Maya Angelou had a very interesting thing to say, which is something that I strongly stand with as well. A lot of people, sometimes they're scared to share their creative ideas. They are scared to share their creative thoughts, saying someone will take it, someone will do something with it. The truth is, you can't use up creativity. You don't run out of creativity. If you found the secret into it, you're not going to run out of it. You're only going to move forward with it. So as Maya Angelou says, you can't use up creativity. The more you use it, the more you will have. So be bold, be courageous, and go forward and put out your creative expressions. Share what you creatively believe in, right? And try to march forward with it, because that is something that is definitely possible to do, right? You can always improve and get better with creativity the more you express it and the more you share it. Great. Now what I wanted to do is I want to ask you all to give your thoughts. What do you think, right? What do you think your level of creativity right now is on a scale of 1 to 5? If 1 is low and 5 is high, where do you think your level of creativity stands right now? What would you say is your level of creativity? Who would like to share that? What's your level of creativity? I'm going to give you all a couple of seconds. For anyone on the live stream, you can put it in the chat, sharing what your level of creativity is. But if not, I'm just going to take a general opinion of what is shared by people, right? Great, thank you, Lali, Dr. Saifu Taiwo, thank you very much for joining us. Pleasure to have you. Naina Sunaina, thank you very much for being a part of the session today. We'd love to hear your responses. What do you think your levels of creativity are? Where does it stand on a scale of 1 to 5? Wonderful. So we as we usually do this program, we generally see the responses. Some stand at around 4. People generally don't want to go to 5. Some are generally around the 2 and 3 area, right? And there's this tendency that a lot of us think that we aren't very inherently creative because I'm not a great artist, I'm not a great poet, I'm not a great writer, or I'm not a great singer. So we really associate creativity with the field of arts alone, right? But the truth is, creativity is in everything. Creativity is in mechanics, creativity is in electronics, creativity is in science, creativity is in marketing, creativity can exist in management, it can exist in administration, it can exist across any sphere which human life engages with and which you can influence and change in some way, right? It's just that capacity to be able to re-look at something and say, hey, I see this in a different way, I see it like this, right? So one of the things that I am going to share with you today is a little question, right? I think you will find the link posted by, yeah, there you go. The International Internship University has posted a link. When you click that link, which you see, which will be on the presentation, on the chat screen, right? You'll probably see that appear on the chat. You already see a link which is posted, right? And you all should be able to click on that and share your words. What words come to your mind when you think about creativity? Click that link which is on the chat screen. You arrive at a polling web page where you can type in the words that you associate with creativity. What words come to your mind when you think about creativity? As you type it there, the answers appear here. It's just, I wanted to have this kind of engagement in the session just to show a lot of other educators who might be here how creativity plays a role in education. Like, how far education has come with the creative technological advancements, making it possible for me who live somewhere far away from all the viewers, from people who are joining this, from people who are running this, but yet come together and have a session like this where it's able to create live interaction with all participants, right? So let's see if any of you all have been able to access the link. Go there and drop your thoughts, right? What comes to your mind when you think of creativity, right? We are going to give it a minute because usually there is a little lapse from between the live stream, between what's really going on here and the live stream, and generally it takes slightly a bit more time for you to be able to access the link and then share your information, right? Is anyone having trouble accessing it? Great. Okay. So, the usual answers that people share with us during this question is, they believe in the arts, the music, like I was mentioning, right? And different types of such artistic professions, design, right? Those are the things that generally come to people's minds when they hear the word creativity. Now, while that is what people associate with creativity itself, right? The truth is that each one of us, we see the world differently, right? The experience that we have visually and the auditory, the kinesthetic, the sensory experiences that we have with the world is different, and how we perceive the world based on that is different. And through this unique perception is how we are able to see and project different creative thoughts into the world, right? So what we are going to do is I'm going to give you a little visual test. I'm going to put up a picture that turns up here, right? Now I'd like you to have a look at this, and I hope the presentation has changed for you all on the live stream, right? So what I'd like to do is for you all to check if you are able to see anything in this particular picture that's up here. What do you see there? What do you see? I'd like to know what you all see here in this picture. What do you all see on this picture? Share with us, what do you see on the picture? On the live stream, you can throw in your ideas, as to what you see. So some people, they see a donut. Does anybody see a donut here? Some see a watch. What do you all see? Any of you interested to share what you all see? What do you all see in this picture? On the picture that's on screen, what is it that you all see? Great. We have someone joining us from Philippines. Welcome, Joseph. And there's someone from Libya. Hello. And there's Manjola. welcome to the stream. And if you do see the picture, guys, I'd like you all to share what you see in that picture. What do you think that picture represents? What does it look like to you? And then I'm putting up a second picture, right? What does the second picture look like to you? Some say it looks like a snake. Saifu, great to hear that you're watching with keen interest. Saifu, it would be wonderful if you can actually, share your thoughts. What do you see on the screen, Saifu? Does that picture, give you some idea as to what it could be? What could that picture be? What do you see in these pictures? I don't know whether the second picture is up yet on the live stream. Yeah, it is. It is great. Good to know that. Good to know that. So a lot of people joining us. There's another one who's joined us from Tunisia. So the second one, generally people say it looks like the neck of a giraffe. It looks like a snake, right? So there are various different answers. The truth is, the first picture, which is this picture, which I'm going to show you now in a minute, right? So this picture, we generally say it's a traditional Vietnamese fisherman in his boat, and you are looking at a bird's eye view, right? So that is generally that is what we say. But the truth is, like some people said, it could be a watch. Like some people said, it could be a donut on a table, right? Some people say it's a top view of the cup and a saucer, right? So it could be different things. The point I'm trying to make is that we see the world differently. Though it's the same thing that we look at, we see the world differently. And this is an example that proves that to us, right? This is an example that proves that we see the world completely differently from the perspectives that we have. The second picture that we are looking at is a koala. You know these koala bears, the little gray bears that live up trees, right? So this is a koala bear trying to climb a tree, and he's in the back, and you're seeing the view from the front, where you only see his hands and legs wrapped around the tree. Well, which is one way it could be looked at, but definitely it doesn't mean that the person who said this looks like a snake's body or a giraffe's neck. Some people said that it looks like tables and chairs in an office, small cabins. It could be anything, right? But and there isn't like a hard and fast rule saying that no, that's not the answer and the other is the answer, because it could be seen in different ways. So that's one thing that I wanted to share with you, that we see the world in absolutely different ways, right? So that being said, we could now move to the next experience which we will have, which is a very audio based experience. So now I'm going to share with you a different type of activity which I will do, where we will be now using some sounds. What's going to happen is I'm going to turn my screen off for a minute, and I'm going to handle different sounds here in the background. If you'd like, you can close your eyes. If not, you just can be relaxed, and if you can, try to guess what exactly those sounds are, and drop them in the chat if you understand what those sounds are, right? If you understand what the sounds are, please drop them in the chat. So I hope you all can hear different sounds that are going on. So try to guess what the sounds you all hear are, okay? Okay, so if y'all are still here and y'all would like to, I'd like to see y'all sharing some of your thoughts. What were the sounds that you heard in the background while the video was off? What do you think was going on here? Any suggestions what you heard? Hi Inga, welcome from Georgia. Thank you for joining the stream. And if you haven't heard, or if anyone else has heard, we would like to hear what you heard. What did you hear in the background? What type of noises were you able to hear? What were the sounds? Good. So there we go. Now some of the sounds involved water. We were exchanging water, but generally people have a vision of let's say a little stream running, right? We had some knocking, which generally people associate with someone knocking the doors or someone's footsteps walking. Some people recall someone kicking on something, right? So anyway, the point again is that through the way we see and the way we hear the world is different, right? And this difference helps us or makes us also understand and then express to the world our thoughts, our feelings, and our understanding of those aspects in a different manner, right? Those aspects are expressed in different manner by different people. So now that we have got some information about it, what we will next do is we will move on. Now that we understand that we hear and see the world and sense the world differently, and we have an agreement on that, I'm going to move to the next activity, right? I'm going to move to the next part of this session. So here what we're going to look at how we expand your creative capacity, right? Right. So now when we try to expand our creative potential and what we can do as creative individuals, we have this very simple technique which we share, which is easy for anyone to follow, right? So the idea is that now you have in front of you a little object which is going to take a three-dimensional turn. It's going to move around, and I hope you all see what it is. It's a spoon, right? And now there's a general utility that we have for the spoon, right? We use it to eat something. Okay, now my question to you is, can you try to reimagine the spoon, right? Now when the moment you throw this question to a lot of people, they're like, what? How do you reimagine a spoon? What do you want me to reimagine a spoon as, right? So I'm giving you some examples here. Try to think of what a spoon could be, right? Now the example is that it could be like it's like a play catapult launcher, right? It could be tied to a spring. It could be something that launches a catapult. It could be used as a toy in that manner. Then if you let's say make the spoon, imagine the spoon to be slightly bigger, it could also work as a spade, right? To dig something out from the soil, right? It could be something that you use to dig something out from the soil. Now, apart from that, you can also, some people suggested once that it could be a pocket mirror. If it's a really shiny spoon inside, you could always hold that like that and look at it, use it like a mirror. Or you could simply, make the inside of the spoon a piece of like glass, and by doing that, you'll be able to use it as a mirror. So these are some unusual ways of how you could look at a spoon. So what I'm asking you is, can you try to reimagine what a spoon could be? We have got some very interesting answers to this in previous programs, but now the task is yours. Oh, thank you very much, Zamil. Zamil has joined the stream as well. Zamil is joining us also all the way from Sri Lanka. So yeah, so my question to you all is that how would you reimagine a spoon? Zamil, what would you reimagine a spoon as? What else could a spoon be? What about you, Joseph? We have Lali from, and then Inga from Georgia who's joined in. What would you do? How would you see a spoon? What else do you think a spoon could be? Any ideas? Great. Okay. Zamir says he thinks it could be used as a weapon sometimes, which is interesting. Yeah. Maybe if it's a really big spoon, you can use it to actually, spank someone with it. That's interesting. Weapon. Any others? Zamir, try to expand the size, because sometimes when we look at something, we only see the standard size of it, but as we start expanding the size of it, we are able to see different possibilities with the same object. What do you think we can do if we expand the spoon, if it becomes really big? Let's say a giant spoon that's like 10, 15, 20, 30 times its size. You can do that in your mind. You can always expand the size of the spoon. And do you see any other possibilities as to what it could be? Good. I'm going to share with you some of the other answers that we have had from previous programs. So once when we did this and put the spoon up, one of the answers we got was that it could be like a big pot where you cook itself. So if the spoon is a bit deeper, the spoon itself becomes the pot, and you can use it as a tool for cooking something in. So once someone told that, another person latched on to the same idea and said, okay, what if we can make it bigger than a pot, and you make it like a big bucket with a handle, and the handle is a slide, and you create a swimming pool with a spoon. So it's a spoon-shaped swimming pool. And I was like, fabulous. Isn't that a great idea? Isn't that unique? Isn't that original? Right? And it came out of a simple black spoon that was just put in front of them as visual stimulation, right? And so the point I'm trying to make is that by looking at standard objects, trying to push our mind to go that extra mile, by trying to make our mind see something distinctly different and unique in that particular object, we are able to achieve very interesting results of how we can use these objects for different creative purposes, right? So that's with the spoon. Now what I'm going to do is now I've given you an example. This is just an example for you, right? Now what we are going to do is we are going to look at how we can use other objects. So now I have something, it's a horseshoe, right? I've taken it because it's a big object, it's a shape. Now my question to you is, what do you see in this? What does this object look like? It has a definite purpose, which is it goes under the hooves of horses to act as a horseshoe, right? So apart from that, what could this object be? How would you use this object? Any thoughts that's coming? Some of the answers we have had previously is that if it becomes really big, it could look like, let's say, like a iron racing track, right? Some people also said it could be used as a element of defense or self-defense, like as a weapon. There were some answers which mentioned that it can turn into a necklace, or like something that you wear around your neck, or as earrings if it becomes smaller. So just like you can make something bigger in your mind, you can also shrink the size and then make different ideas come up with that. So when someone said it can become small and become earrings, someone said, well, if it can become as small as earrings, you can connect it and make it into even a horseshoe chain, right? Some were mentioning it could become a pendant. So I'm waiting for your thoughts and your ideas. If any of you all see anything different, please go ahead and share it. Generally, the trainings and the workshops I do, they are very interactive, right? We try to make it, we try to make it a session where, the process of learning is not just one way. It's not just about one person talking, but it's about stimulating the learner to think, stimulating the learner's thoughts and the mind in order to access this information that we are discussing. Because once you have experienced and accessed that information, it sticks in your mind, and after that you don't need me to give 100 other explanations on how to get creative. You just know what to do and where to go with your mind, and you have the tool that helps you access your power of creativity. Great. So that's the example of a horseshoe, right? So I'm waiting another 30 seconds to see if any of you have any ideas. I hope a lot of you all are creative and you all might be able to throw in some interesting thoughts, and I'm waiting for that. Okay, so great. So we have horseshoe. Horseshoe is done, and I'm going to move on to the next object which we have, and I would be glad to have your support in trying to think of possible means of how we could use this object, or what this could be used as, right? So as you might definitely see, the general use of this is that it's a flute. You use it as a musical instrument, right? Now my question is, what else do you imagine this can be used as? The simplest way is to rethink its size, right? So you make it larger than life, or you make it smaller than life, and you could come up with different ideas for it, right? Another way of expanding your creativity is to take the same object and think of multiple similar objects. So in whatever the size or form that you're transforming it in your mind, you try to also increase the volume of it, of how many of them you have, right? And by doing this, you will suddenly be able to think of design related ideas, don't you think so? So the reason that I am mentioning that is, I think one of the things that people said they would see this being is a torch, right? Like a torch that can be used where the batteries are in, so it has a shape of a torch as well. Then the second one that we also hear is that if it becomes small, it becomes a little bit like chess. They become a little bit like a chess pieces, where the pieces that you use to play chess. Then it can be used as a telescope. Zamil says it can be used as a telescope. Absolutely true, Zamil. Yes, we could use it as a telescope. And a horn. So that's a good one as well. Very good, Zamil. Yes, it could be used as a horn as well. Well, another thing that people were saying is that when it becomes bigger, or even if at the similar size, it could be the shape of a stand, right? A flower stand where you put flowers into it and it holds flowers in it. Then another idea was that it could, if you have many of it, what you could do is you could lay it across the garden where it looks like a design, a fence design, right? There were thoughts that came up like that. Another one said that if you actually tilt it upside down, maybe what will happen is that it could be a building. If it becomes a massive one, it could be a flute-shaped building, right? People come up with various different suggestions like this, and it's always great to, you know, try to reimagine and relook at things in such a way, using the power of our mind and the power of our creativity, right? So based on the experience that we have gone through, we have understood the definition of what it was. We've looked at, you know, how we can be creative. I've shared with you simple 3 examples of how you can use very mundane objects, but let your mind explore creative possibilities to use these objects in, right? Now, all this proves that we all see, feel, and experience the world differently, and we can all produce different solutions with the resources that's provided to us based on our knowledge, experience, and expertise on any given subject matter, right? So the next time you are asked to do something, right, please feel free to go ahead and push your mind to different boundaries where it hasn't been before, and help your mind to come up with innovative and unique new methods and new ways as to how you could use creativity to solve problems in your day-to-day life, or even with regards to your profession, irrespective of what you do. If it is bigger size, it can be used as an architectural tunnel transport. Wonderful. That's a beautiful idea as well. Actually, tunnel transport sounds like a very possible one. I would like to once again ask Ermi or someone to post the same link. So this is a poll. I'd like you all to try to click the link and join in and share what you can do to improve your creative capacity. So what type of ideas do you have? What are things that you are going to do? Because it is a everyday habit. You try to take simple objects, relook at them. There's a link posted on the chat. You can click that link and share your thoughts on how you can improve your personal creative capacity. You can do it by making the spaces around you creative. You can do it by reducing the clutter and having interesting objects in front of you that are related to your industry, right? You can have inspirational quotes that are around you that are relative to your field of work, right? So in this manner, what can you do to improve your personal creative capacity, right? You could take up some arts, right? You could take up learning some, maybe improving your writing skills. Maybe you could go take up something related to theater or singing, right? In this manner, you will be able to tap into the creative side of your mind a bit more, right? Because these fields of these fields of human expression, they are fundamentally creative. They demand creativity from the word go. So you might be able to tap in by taking up a more creative, let's say, art as a part-time exercise or something that you start practicing, right? That might be another way to do it. So those are some ways of how you can improve your creative capacity. Unfortunately, I think people are having challenge with accessing the link, right? So I think that is the challenge, and that's why there are no responses appearing here. So I hope throughout this session, what I've shared has given you some thoughts and ideas as to how you could practice exploring your creativity with simple things. So the next time you see something, the next time there is an idea in front of you, the next time someone asks for your suggestion on something, right, you now have a tool that will help you go exactly to the point in your mind where you can come up with innovative and new solutions, right? So I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to fearlessly express your ideas, think differently, and come up with original and creative ideas that will help humanity and mankind move forward. Because and if you are in a workplace, create a culture for expressing creativity. It helps all of us find new and innovative solutions, right? So with that message, I would like to bring this to an end and thank the IIU for providing this fabulous opportunity to come here, share with many of you from different parts of the world my idea about the power of creativity, and share with you some simple steps on how you as an individual can go there, how you as an individual can access creativity and express it within your little circles. So be bold, be brave, be creative. Thank you.